Erma, are you there? Oh, Erma's there. Well, Erma, do you happen to know the title song since the musical director on the show knows you personally?
Pizzazz, pizzazz, it's the wrinkle in the razzmatazz. Pizzazz, pizzazz, it's the magic every hit show has. That's it. That's what it's all about.
That's very good.
Two-time Academy Award-winning composer and lyricist Richard Sherman is perhaps best known for creating the sound of Walt Disney's classic films from the 1960s, including The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, and, of course, Mary Poppins.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
With two of his scores, Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, recently making it to Broadway, Sherman, along with Milt Larsen, is getting ready for another stage musical with Pazzazz.
Our story kind of centers around a wonderful vaudeville team by the name of Weber and Fields, and they sort of started the Who's on First type of comedy, and they were very, very popular back in the 1890s. They had their own musical on Broadway, and our story involves the two really bad guys, that entrepreneurs, you might call them, but really they were the bad syndicate, and it's all based on a true story that happened. And the syndicate would like nothing better than to get rid of Weber and Fields and their all-star company. Now, the all-star company is an important thing because they had every major star on Broadway playing in their little theater, and that really made the syndicate very unhappy.
And also, they were independent. See, they were not part of the syndicate. So if a successful little company like the Weber and Fields Company could succeed, that would pave the way for other people to also have their own independent companies.
They really hated that.
So they felt this was the chink in their armor, and they really wanted to do away with Weber and Fields. And our story revolves around how they braved that difficulty and succeeded and inspired young Georgie Cohan, who became George M. Cohan, to become the great independent producer that he was. One of the songs we did, which is very typical of a George M. Cohan song, his sister was Josie Cohan, and the four Cohans were a great team on vaudeville. But on vacations, or when the four Cohans weren't on the road, Josie and Georgie, back at the turn of the century, worked for Weber and Fields, for a summer. And they learned a lot back then. And we have a song that Georgie sings to Josie about how he cares about her. And Erma, if you could possibly remember a song called Josie that we wrote. Thank you. This is a sweet little song he sings. Josie, Josie, I don't want to see you frown. Won't you turn it upside down? Oh, you're so beguiling when I see you smiling. Baby sister, I don't want to see you cry. I'm gonna love you till I die. That's enough. That's a
and
real.
That, as much as anything, is why we did not cast Richard M. Sherman as Josie.
And I tried out every time they had people, but then all of a sudden this kid comes along. We have a wonderful choreographer and director team, and they're just brilliant people.
And it's John Vaughn and Greg Hendrickson.
Yeah.
And they are marvelous. They have also fallen into just capturing the mood of the turn of the century.
And they have great sense of humor. I mean, they're putting in the slapstick and all that.
We have a very large cast, and a cast of dancers, singers, and a 16-piece orchestra.
I don't know if we failed to mention the fact that Weber and Fields were the champions of slapstick comedy. I mean, the knockabout comedy where they'd conk each other on the head. People would scream at that kind of low-down stuff, but it was just, they were masters at it. And they did it. They never really hurt themselves. They just looked like they were poking each other and gouging each other's eyes out when they were talking. And if you think of
the Three Stooges.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. It's all today. I mean, it was always handed down.
Kids will love it.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to love it. It's fun. It's really funny. It's a present-day piece in the sense we're reminiscing. We're going back to the early days. But at the very end of the show,
there's
we magically come back to the present.
People talk about nostalgia, but nostalgia is really something you remember from your childhood or something that was pleasant from high school or something. That's nostalgia. There's a thing called a period piece, which is, Gone with the Wind was a period piece. Not that ours is Gone with the Wind, but a period piece goes back to a time that people can't remember because it was a time that they've heard about. And so if you do something about the Revolutionary War or something, that's a period piece. And we are taking this time, it's 100 years ago, and 100, a little more.
Yeah.
But so chances are it's not nostalgia to most people, unless you happen to be 130 years old. And so we're very proud of trying to create something that captures the essence of the moment, that captures the excitement of little old Broadway.
And it's a tip in the hat. It's a tip of the hat to the greats of that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because without those people, it wouldn't be the way it is today.
But a salute.
It's a salute, right? The type of thing that I've been luckily involved with has always been family-friendly product. It's the kind of stuff that the kids going to enjoy on one level, the parents will enjoy on another level. And we don't write kiddie things, we write family things. Pazzazz is a pure family thing. The little 6-year-olds are going to scream and laugh and have a great time, and the adults are going to say, "Hey, is that really what happened? That's the way it took place? Wow!" And there's a whole bunch of stuff in there for everybody. So we're tickled about what we've done for the show.
Very much so.
We have a song that ends our show, starts and ends our show, called "The Great White Way." And maybe you could ask Erma, if you say it really nicely, she could play a little bit of "The Great White Way."
I don't know. I could ask her. I'm not sure. If she,
Try. Ask her.
Erma, do you know The Great White Way?
There's more to the story than the glitz and the glory of the Great White Way. So much more to the clamor and the something and the glamour of the Great White Way. To the dye and delightment and the fun and excitement of a bright first night on the Great White Way. That's it.
We are available for ice cream emptyings and bar mitzvahs.
Pazzazz will preview in Glendora, California mid-June before having a world premiere in Santa Barbara beginning June 20th.